familiar sounds of suburbia. I've got the mower in the background and the dog over there, the usual offender. Must be bored out of his brain, or her brain. They seem to always be locked up there, so I feel a bit sorry for them. Yeah, if you've got a pet, you don't see them much. They might, maybe the owners are at work, but they'd get pretty frustrated, I imagine. Heading off to the GP's, just going to get some sedatives. I've got a few, but not enough to be comfortable with the flight. I use up 2 pills on a long haul flight each way, and so they only leave me about 2 or 3 spare, and it's probably just not enough. I'm not using them very often. I did take one about 2 weeks ago just to break a run of sleepless nights. I've been waking up during the night, but I'm still getting enough sleep overall. I don't feel particularly fatigued. So anyway, it's a glorious day. Yesterday was an absolute crappy day. You can see the footage anyway. I've just shown you that. Just total rain all day, just drenched. And we've finally got some sun, and this is an amazing feeling, because I just was totally housebound yesterday. And the plan today is to go to the GP's, get the prescription, and then head to Cook Highway and get the 110 bus to Smithfield, where I'm going to do some supermarket shopping. And I'm also going to try to find out whether I can get a PCR test arranged there at Apple Tree Clinic. I'll go and check them out and ask them, because yeah, I need to know whether they can do that or not. Yeah, okay. It's very quiet down the street. This Bondi Crescent, apart from the dog, of course, on cue. Yeah, that's another habitual offender when it comes to barking. There's some very good news on the international front. I guess you all know I'm a bit of a rap for Elon Musk, and he does have a genuine, to me it appears he has a genuine commitment to free speech, and it appears that he has actually bought Twitter. He made the shareholders an offer they couldn't refuse, and now it's his baby. There's probably a couple, the I's have got to be dotted, the T's have got to be crossed, so better not do handstands until that's all finalised, but it is looking good. And there'll be some very nervous Twitter employees, woke employees, as there no doubt will be at Netflix, which has taken a huge dive as another woke company. And Disney can join that list as well. They've taken a huge hit on the stock exchange. Tech stocks in general have taken a hit, but I think Disney's going to be in for a lot of strife. They are incredibly woke, and it's going to kill these companies. Netflix, Disney, Twitter will be saved by Musk. The share price actually went up 3% on the news that he had made a successful bid for the company. I think it's about 61 billion Australian, if I recall. Which sounds a lot to mortals like you and me, but to the richest guy in the world, it's not far above chump change for him. He can certainly afford it, and it is nice to know that someone I actually have empathy with their values is actually the richest man in the world, and he has gone way ahead of the total jerk-off, in my opinion, Jeff Bezos, who is Mr. Woke, and I can't stand him. So there is some justice in the world. Like I say, it's a beautiful day. It's nice in this corner here. There's actually a pathway that goes to the little park down back there. That's it there, that pathway. That's a a public access path, so it's quite nice. You just got to battle above dog barking and birds twittering. I suppose it could be worse. It's a nice part of the world to be in. Be a little isolated is the only real downside for me here, but it is a lovely part of the world, so I'm very happy here. I'm even happier still when I can actually get out of the house when it isn't pissing down rain continually. It felt like lockdown city yesterday. It was just walking on the grass. It's just like walking on a sponge. There was that much moisture this morning. I was able to get a few items to put in the bin because I like to regularly get rid of foliage because it just amasses every week. And there was a fair bit of crap that I threw in the bin this morning before the garbos came around, so that was good. So that's all been taken care of. Now let's just see how we go here. I'm hoping to get some advice about the PCR test too, because it's driving me nuts that I may have to get a rapid antigen test actually done at Sydney Airport. And what concerns me there is if there's a problem with my connecting flight, that could be a real rush. Apparently the check-ins now for the international flights are opening 4 hours prior to departure. So that shows how much extra crap's required by the staff to get you checked in correctly. So although I have seen videos of people travelling overseas, mind you, they're coming to places like Thailand, and they said it's been a breeze, and I've heard that about Saigon as well. Although I've also heard with Saigon that you have to, because you have to do this health declaration, it has really slowed down processing of people going through, and it's taken up a lot of space, and there's talk that they might scrap it for the I'm trying to think of the name of it. I always keep forgetting the name of the Saigon airport, but anyway, they specifically Saigon airport are looking for an exemption to doing that, having to do the health declaration. So we'll see how that goes. But the clock's ticking, and I haven't heard anything since. That was a couple of days ago I heard about that. One of the Saigon English language newspapers mentioned online, but hasn't been confirmed yet. But chances are they're pretty pragmatic in Vietnam. I think they'll do something about it. So we'll see. Yeah, very quiet here. I suppose all the people had to go back to work Easter. A bit unlucky for people working, you know. They had the long weekend, and it was just terrible yesterday. There was going out just a write-off. So I feel sorry for the wage slaves that were looking forward to their long weekend. But that's weather for you. Doesn't have a conscience. Just got back from the GP, and he gave me a flu shot. And I'm supposed to wait there for 10 minutes, but I've never had a bad reaction to a flu shot in the past. So I want to get to the bus stop. Actually, the doctor that saw me, the young Vietnamese guy, first surname Tran, I knew straight away he was Vietnamese. And he hasn't been there since for 20 years. He's probably only about 25, I imagine, maybe 30. Well, that's difficult with Vietnamese. They can look very young. So, yeah. But he does speak Vietnamese. So I guess his family taught him when he was a kid. Perfect time. But it isn't always the way. I had a friend who was Chinese heritage, and he had to learn Mandarin. So it just depends. Here's all the mug shots for the candidates for the election. God, it's cheesy smiles. Well, they love you when they need your vote. Oh, not so good news. The good news about Musk, but the bad news about what happened in France. Macron got in again. I couldn't believe that. He's a total punce in my opinion, but anyway. So that was surprising and a bit disappointing. But anyway, what can you do? So this is the first time I've actually walked to this stop on this side of the road. I want to get, of course, the 110 because it's the direct to Smithfield. The other thing is too, almost tempted to get the 110 back because I'm leaving so late. I might cop all the school kids. So anyway, so it's there's a bit of rain down the Innisfail way, so it looks nice here at the moment, but will it last? I'll tell you what, the sun's created a bit of humidity though. It was quite cool when it was raining at least, but yeah, it's I don't know what time it is, I better check. They had a clock on the wall at the surgery, so I could get a pretty good idea how it's going. It's about 10 minutes late soon. Oh, I've got stacks of time. I've got 20. It's about a quarter of an hour before the bus is due, so no problem. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's a shame that this bus stop isn't closer to Kawara, but yeah, it's not the greatest transport infrastructure in the world, but at least I've got a bus. If I'm on over that side, you've got nothing. You have to have a car. There's no alternative. Lizards around, or the skinks. So that's the second one scurrying across. I guess they love all the moisture. So it's a fair distance to get to this this bus stop. At least it's on the same side of the road at the moment, as opposed to when I get off. But like I said, I want to avoid all the school kids that get on the Trinity Beach bus. It's a pain. So we'll see. And the other thing is, I probably should pop into that pathology place to just find out what they can do. I might do a ring around, see what options I've got. I'm almost there. At least there's shade walking down here. It's a bit easier than walking from home. The sun has got a kick to it, even though it's this time of year and getting towards winter. It's still got a bit of a kick. Anyway, I'll just wait here at this bus stop. Well, I just came from Coles. There's buggery all on the shelves. It's rather poor. I couldn't get any dry biscuits that I wanted. I wanted to get the generic water crackers, but they're all they've got a stack of them that have got pepper. No one ever seems to want those. They're always in surplus. So you think the manufacturer would work out that maybe you don't make so many pepper crackers, water crackers, but no. Oh God, look at the bloody advertising everywhere for this damn election. Even at the bus stop. I wonder if that's illegal. I reckon that one might be. I suspect that is not right just there. But who knows? And who cares? Probably no one. Oh. Well, it's not raining. I'm a bit worried. There's a few clouds down there, and that's the direction it come from, but haven't had any yet. And there was a woman shopping at Coles who was telling me she had friends from, sounded like from down south, and they'd copped all the rain. They flew in, so they must have been, presumably. And yeah, she's bemoaning all the rain we had the last 24 hours, and she's not wrong. Pretty bad. Tomorrow's supposed to be clear, but who knows? We'll see what transpires as we get closer to that time. This is not a pedestrian-friendly area. I had to go across a walkabout there because I cut in from the main buildings. It's a real hodgepodge of buildings that join together with the corridor down there. And I saw for once I'll try cutting out of the main building, just cutting across to where I knew the footpath would be. But the footpath doesn't. You got to cut through that roundabout. There's no real pedestrian way of getting across it, pedestrian-friendly way. So yeah, we really are second-class citizens out here. The urban planning leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion, anyway. Like I say, Southeast Asia can do a better job than we're doing. It's actually a rich country, but priorities are different here. Car rules. Bus has taken a long time to get here. It's definitely over 5 minutes late, which is unusual. They're usually pretty reliable, these buses, so maybe it's had a breakdown. I might end up getting the 110 as it turns out anyway. 110 leaving now at a stop on the other side of Kawara Beach. And it's quite muggy out actually. The only advantage of this is I've got to do a bit of walking, which isn't bad necessarily. But I can also pop into the pathology on the way back home and just see if they can clarify what the situation is with these PCR tests, because I want to get all this sorted today. It's playing on my mind, and if I can get it done at a reasonable cost at a local pathology place, yeah, I think old David Tran, who was the GP, saw me. He mentioned that there are some that are open on Saturday mornings, I think. Not that that matters. I want to get it done on the Friday anyway, because I want to have the result on Saturday. So that's what the crucial thing is. I need to know before I get on my flight. Otherwise, there's no point me doing it here. So that's what I've got to clarify. And maybe the people at pathology can give me a bit more information, because it's a bit of a dog's breakfast. Unfortunately, information online is not much. It's basically, it only mentions the big pharmacy place, Nicolaitis. Sullivan Nicolaitis seems to be the only one they mention, and he actually made out a form for me to do it, with my name and details on it, so I suppose that was nice of him. But that also had Sullivan Nicolaitis, or Nicolaides, whatever the name of that pathology company is, apparently the biggest in Australia. It also had them on the stationery. So look, I'm not sure whether CML does it, because I used to get my blood test through CML near my local GP, so I'll try to get all this sorted out. But unfortunately, it's as clear as mud at the moment with what my options are before actually fronting up to the airport. So yes, it'll be a lot easier when these restrictions are removed, and requirement to have RAT tests and all that stuff. Again, I don't know why it's so important. I mean, seriously, you know, COVID is not what it was, not the strain at the moment. So this is right over the top, in my opinion. But we're stuck with it, unfortunately. And if you want to travel overseas, you have to cop it at the moment. Well, that was good. I got a script filled and also got some very important information. Apparently, Chemist Warehouse do the PCR tests on the spot with the documentation. The pharmacist told me that, and he didn't know what the price was, but at least I know they do it here, and there's none of this crap about sending it down to Brisbane. That would be brilliant, because then if I get a result, apparently the result's pretty well instant. They do it quickly, so I've got to get onto them. I definitely need to know what's going on there, and that could be the solution. I've got to go down there anyway on Friday, so that could work out very well. It's the day of the dogs. Well, I'll get my exercise. I bought the Doritos, so I need to work it off before I start getting stuck into those again. Mind you, I'm going to have a fair bit of work in the garden. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. If the weather forecast is correct, it should be a sunny day, which means I can finally get some mowing done in the afternoon. And secondly, get some weeding done maybe in the morning. Just let it dry out a little bit. Yeah, it is drying, just needs a little bit of sun, and you know, the sun's still got a kick to it, so it's definitely affecting. Things are drying out. It's having a beneficial effect. Very lush around here, still a bit of moisture there in the gutter, but you wouldn't have known it had been raining as hard as it had yesterday. So. Although I still think my backyard feels like a sponge, but we'll see. So, that's really good. I don't know why people don't advertise this more readily. He was quite surprised when I told them they had to send, the pharmacist that is, that I told them that Sullivan have to send their the samples down to Brisbane. It's just absurd. They're just not serious about it. And Campus Warehouse should be competitive on price, so if they can do it for $141, maybe it's $121 or something for Chemist Warehouse. My thing is that Chemist Warehouse will give me the documentation, I'll do it quickly, and that's what I want. So that's all good. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.